We kick off to the bottom right-hand side of the map with our Team Liquid player. We've already seen one of the Team Liquid guys moving through to the round of 16 a day, and that was Snoot, albeit a little bit shaky in the process. To the bottom right-hand side right now is going to be the blue Zerg player from Team Liquid. It's TLO. And to the upper left-hand side, the red Protoss from Legacy Esports. It's Probe. What he has my wrist, is it an RSI? No, I broke my wrist like a month ago, so I'm just wearing this right now because I got my cast off a bit early, so I could travel more easily for the event I just did. And I probably would have had to wear this anyways for a bit, just to try and just keep it sort of straight and heal it a bit more. Just help ease back into life with a wrist, you know, life with two hands again, you know. It's going well today, guys. We're having some fun games. It's actually crazy. We've already been live for 5 hours. That's absolutely... Does anyone else not feel like we've been live for 5 hours? I don't. I feel like we've been live for like an hour and a half or something. It's crazy. It really doesn't feel like a 5-hour long stream so far. We're bringing you StarCraft action all day long here today in Takes Penthouse Party number 3. I'm going to be continuing to bring you guys action tomorrow with the round of 16 and the day after with the playoffs, of course. It's a full weekend of StarCraft 2 here from Take, and obviously very excited for that. To TLO, I mentioned how long he'll stay in Korea for. TLO is going to be in Korea for just a couple of weeks or so. He's there with Snoot. But the problem is him and Snoot have to come back home to play their WESG qualifier. Obviously that's a big tournament as well. You don't want to miss out on the chance of going to it because you're playing European-based qualifiers with Korean ping. Obviously that's kind of pretty detrimental, so... They are returned to play their WESG qualifiers. I know that's going to be the big difference in all of this. Alright, setting it up then as we get ready to roll. Excuse me. And we're just going to be seeing this Adept coming down towards the lower right-hand side. A couple of Zerglings currently heading up the left, so really nothing too crazy in the super early stages of game number 1 here. Probe moving around the map with this Adept, looking to see what's up and what is happening. Obviously, we see the first setup of the game coming down with that Twilight Council. Now, Probe is someone who has some different builds for PvZ. I know he's loved some kind of charge-based attacks in the past, etc., so it'll be interesting to see what he goes for here. So far, Robot Facility coming down is very suggestive of that very standard setup with... Dark Shrine Archons, and then you can play kind of a charge follow-up as well. That's become kind of the meta game now, but this is a build that Probe used to do. It isn't exactly the same as the current meta, but he used to do something with the same sort of idea earlier. And that's where we're going to be seeing the Adept just shaping around. And it is actually going to be a fast charge, so there you go. Here's me here talking about Probe, like, and do some fast charge builds. I was actually right. Sometimes I shouldn't doubt myself, should I? It does look kind of standard, though, right, with the Robot Facility 2. You might still even drop down the Dark Shrine, you just might go for a faster charge than usual, and maybe only 2 DTs. We'll see what he can afford here in the next few moments. We'll see what comes out straight away from the Robo. Rotron on the way though from TLO, even though he's not seen, I guess he has seen a little bit here, and he's seen that Twilight Council upgrading as well by this little light up. So that seeing that is kind of nice, because now he knows for a fact that is going to be something that isn't, that's probably going to need Roach to defend, whether it's a lot of Adepts early, whether it's a lot of Charge Lots early, both are going to be defended by Roaches more so than Lings, etc. He's still going to go melee upgrades though, even if he goes Roaches defensively, he'll look to play probably Ling Bane mid-game, and potentially transition through into Ling Bane Hydra. He could kind of try and play Ling Bane Roach, it's just Ling Bane Roach doesn't do that good a job any longer. So probably transition to Ling Bane Hydra off the back of some initial defensive Roaches. And we do see Templar Archives coming down as a follow-up to this charge, so he's going to be able to get some Archons in play. Just a little bit of a different way of going about it. Very quick charge, very quick Archives, and we are going to be seeing the Archons on the way up in the next few moments. TLO down the left-hand side of the map, and as we do see this Warp Prism coming into play, we're going to see a few Zealots jumping on up into it here. Probe going to be coming forwards and going to be getting ready to unload a few of these Zealots in towards the back of this natural expansion. But units are in position, well positioned by TLO actually, to minimize the damage he takes here. And as this Prism can come back over to the side and look to unload up on this high ground. It's going to be maybe looping all the way around. I thought he might unload here and going towards the third, but I'm just going to loop around. Meanwhile, Probe does put his third next at home. Even if he isn't getting damage done immediately right now, as he does have double Warp Prism by the way, he does still have this situation where he's, slowing TLO down because he's forcing units to make sure he can defend against these potential attacks and all the rest of it. So it's still okay here for Probe. It's maybe not the best scenario, but it's still a decent scenario for him to play out at this point, as we're going to be seeing this Warp Prism. I'm just going to hop back over to this side and see where it can go next. Archons will drop down already. A few workers getting picked away at here. And we've seen the Roaches and a couple of Zerglings coming in. And again, just going to be seeing some lift-ups. These Archons continue to move around all over the place at the moment. So Archons going up, going down. We're going to see this Warp Prism in the center. Some Zealots charging forwards. And again, the creep starting to be cleaned on out. So the creep being cleaned up right now is going to be seeing this lair going to finish up for a moment or so. And again, these Roaches of TLO just going to be kind of nearby as Probe comes to the top side. Yeah, just again, double prism top. Obviously, very micro-intensive, and so far, I've seen a lot of micro-intensive bits and pieces going on here. A bunch more Zealots starting to warp in, and they're going to get set to run towards this third base, I imagine. Meanwhile, the Archons pulling away over to the left-hand side. Hydralisk Den is on the way down. +2 melee starts up, and the Baneland speed coming out as well now for TLO. As these Archons do drop back into play. And again, just going to be trading for a little bit more damage. A few Zerglings coming forwards too, and we will see Pros has been nibbled away at here. So a couple of workers going down, some nice damage from TLO. For a small run by 2 workers, but it was only 4 or 5 Zerglings in the first place. Probe still just warping a lot of Zealots to run forwards with in a moment or so. Again, trying to draw units out of position with these Archon drops. He's actually going to drop onto 2 fresh Hydras. He's going to be a nice little pickup here, although he's leaving that Archon behind. Gets it now. Zealots charging forwards, but a little bit separated right now. Some of them going on to Extractors, etc. Needs to fix that here as he does start to get quite a lot of damage done. Now Archons and Zealot warpins towards the natural expansion. Sporecrawler relocating. The Warp Prism has to lift and leave, though. May even have to pick up those Archons. No, not just yet. The Queens are actually going to get pushed away. And while he gets cleaned up over to the right-hand side, he killed 19 drones, and Probe is definitely taking the lead here in this game number 1. Zealots do get cleaned up, and the Archons are back in the prison, but again, up by 20 workers. Similar in army supplies. Probe is looking good right now. He's made some good moves here. It's been a very good set of kind of just continued multi-pronged aggression to put him into this better position. But going very well indeed, as we're just going to be seeing those few Zealots. Just going to set up to the right-hand side. Temple Archive is going to get that Psystorm on the way up. So Storm coming on through here, about halfway done. Some Pylons going to get thrown down. So this Prism to the south is going to be looping around, looking to see where it can drop the Spore just nearby on the natural. And there is that 4th Nexus currently on the way up. So Probe setting up into this. And I see a few more Zealots on the way as well. So Probe setting up once more, going to charge in towards this 4th base here. A few more Zealots on the right-hand side going to be coming through, and you're just going to be seeing these Zealots continue to work their way through this. So some bits and pieces. You see the Roach Hydra. He's going to be still working their way through the hatchery, and eventually those Zealots do get pushed back up into the Warp Prism. Rover facility still chrono boosting out here. High Templar, Immortals, and Sentries gathering together from Probe. 4th Nexus is up as well. A few more Probes going to move on over and just gather themselves. Warp Prism moves in towards the right-hand side of the map, and again, a few Roaches and a Hydralisk going to drop on down and, well, not drop on down, but just be in position to kind of find that Prism there. I think initially Probe maybe thought that was 1 unit, hence why he dropped. Obviously, over time, he realized it's not just 1 unit, and so he had to pick up and back away. Full base apiece, though. TLO, his is a little bit damaged and beat up. But he's hanging in there. Definitely is at a disadvantage, although he has got some advantages too. He's got upgrades on his side. He's got +2 on each set of attack unit upgrades for melee and missile soon. 1-1 about to finish a Probe, though, so even the bits and pieces he's behind in because of the early commitment and how he played it out, he did enough damage to now be catching up, and so he's getting to that point where, TLO's few advantages are starting to disappear a bit. Still 2 Prisms on the map as well to counterattack if an opportunity comes around. A few Lurkers morphing in as well. Something you would argue is generally more difficult for Probe to deal with, but his army composition for dealing with it is actually pretty awesome. Plenty of Immortals. He's going to have the charge shots to tank initially and run in towards it as well. He's got some Storms to soften up those Lurkers too if they're a bit clumped up. There's a Prism back into the main. Prism to the right side as well, and Well, these Archons going to have to micro back. Very good control for these Archons, by the way, throughout the game. While they might not have gotten a whole bunch of kills, they've been getting some good kills, and a lot of it is because he keeps them alive time after time. TLO loses the 4th base, and looks like he'll just set up defensively on the 3rd. Warp Prism to the right will be able to reinforce this one single large push towards that position if it's how it's going to go. Warp Prism right now is actually being pushed away, though, so that's happening, but the army's going up the right side as well, and this main army of Probe is still here. Does he have detection? No, I don't think he's got detection against the Lurkers. He actually loses a couple High Templar right from the get-go, and he has to back away. And he needs to get an observer. Oh, he does have observers here, so he has observers now. Meanwhile, the army of TLO is going to loop around and counterattack. He's also got attack in his natural expansion he has to deal with as well, though Archons get rid of the Spore Crawler, and they're going to continue fighting themselves. And as now Probe's 4th base in a little bit of trouble. He's actually going to fall back to deal with this, so he is going to pull his army back. These Archons still doing good damage over here, still picking away where they can. There's still a Prism to come in and counterattack the 3rd base too. So that is going to be happening as we see TLO is continuing to set up in towards all of this, just doing so much damage as this army comes in, especially Probe is, he's going to be able to start cleaning this up. So that's not going to be so bad. As we just see this army continue to push on forwards. I mean, there's a few Lurkers over here. He has to deal with these, but if he deals with these, TLO generally will be in a lot of trouble then. As this is continuing. Meanwhile, by the way, just quickly showing you guys in the picture-in-picture, Cass took a fight against Kelazur, which pretty much won him the game. Basically, Cass put himself in a good position and dropped up into the main base. Kelazur was not able to deal with it from there. So Kelazur goes 1-0 down in that series. So Cass takes game number 1 over there, and at the moment it looks like Probe will take game number 1 over here. And there is that GG. Probe go 1-0 up in the series. Very well played. By NVIDIA. Game 2 then, and let's host this up. It's a 1-0 deficit here for the Blue Zerg to the bottom left-hand side of the map. Give it up, guys, if you're going to be cheering on Team Liquid's TLO. And to the upper right-hand side is going to be our Red Protoss player from Legacy Esports. It is Probe. I think PvZ is one of his favorite matchups, so intrigued to see how he does with this. Moving forwards here. Let me just quickly plug my phone in, guys, just to get charging. Sorry for the incoming beep. There we go. Sorry. Just gotta sometimes have phone charge, detect some bits and pieces. What's up, Enigma? Coming in with the Twitch Prime sub. How you doing? Thank you so much for subscribing. Get some Wardy Hearts in the chat for a brand new sub. Thank you, thank you, thank you. See some Wardy Hearts up in the sky. This is awesome. Again, pushing back towards 300 subscribers again, like we were doing last week. Obviously dropped off a bit after a week of not streaming, but back once again here shortly. Thank you very much, Enigma, for the Twitch Prime sub. Probe still just moving around. We're just going to be seeing this Probe as well coming up towards the upper side. It's going to be popping the assimilator down, and again the early game very much so going the way we expect it to. So continue to set up into this. The extractor coming down from TLO. The pool finishing up. So hatch gas pool it was. Hatch pool gas, right? So taking his gas a little bit later on. Not hatch gas pool at all in any way, for shape or form. Just get so used to every game being hatch gas pool, you know, or so many of the games being hatch gas pool. Makes for some interesting moments. Drone going to come on in and just going to be nibbling its way through that Probe then. So again, a little bit of damage being done, some bits and pieces, and yeah, Probe just going to be trying to dance around. A couple of Lings will come in to chase that away once and for all. Unfortunately, that Probe stuck around a bit too long. It will indeed go down. Your subs were a great job, man. You know, pride to the SC2 community. Thank you so much for the kind words, Enigma. I really do appreciate the sub. Thank you very much. If you guys are enjoying the stream, of course, you want to support, well, subscribing with Twitch Prime is a free way to do so. If you've got some, if you've got Twitch Prime, or if you've got Prime Video or Amazon Prime, you didn't realize that actually means you've got Twitch Prime. You just have to link your account. It actually goes a long way. It just supports the streamer like usual. If you also subscribe like regular, it's actually half price this month, remember, to subscribe to the channel. Only $2.50. And get yourself a replay pack of over 300 replays available. We will be giving away anyone to subscribers for the next couple of weeks. We'll get all of the September replay packs already released, plus future replay packs for the rest of the month that you're subscribed in as well, of course. So you can look forward to that. And of course, you support the stream while doing so. Just going to be seeing the robot facility on the way up behind a Twilight Council opening. This time it's going to be Glaives from Probe. So again, not going for that Dark Templar sort of drop here in the early stages. Just going to be playing the Glaives opening, which is a Prism, one of the kind of ways to kind of change it up that we've seen in the past as well. So setting up in towards that, there's the Lair and the Evolution Chamber coming down here from TLO, setting up into his next stage of the game. A couple of extractors from TLO on the way up now as well. And again, this Mothership Core just also looking around, seeing where it can go, coming over to the right hand side. Mothership Core will be unloading right now. There's actually a bit of an interesting fight just going on in the Kaz versus Kalazur's game. Kaz is actually pushing at the front with a big drop, but it looks as though he's just about going to get cleaned up. It looked as though he was maybe going to kill the CC, but it didn't quite happen, and so Kalazur has defended. At the same time, he's equalized the kind of damage done in worker kills by a Banshee player across the map. So Kalazur has come out successfully in an advantage in the first 5 minutes against Kaz there. In game 2 of their series, Kalazur trying to play catch up, trying to play the 1-1 scoreline if you can win that game. So keep an eye out for that. We'll focus still on the ZvP, however. There's Prism coming over. I'm just going to be seeing it coming down towards the lower left-hand side. So Prism coming down towards the lower left. We see a new, Muscular Augments on the way once more from TLO.
+1 missile attack coming through here from our Zerg.
And this Probe has just been off to make the third base. We're going to see if Probe can defend the third base now. He's got double pylon and an overcharge though. I mean, even just being an overcharge can be nice, but obviously still has to put it down. Probe, a little bit slow, double overcharges in fact, maybe because of how slow he was to throw down the first one. Meanwhile, across the map, though, Adepts are getting in position. Already 3 workers killed. I mean, he's going to maybe try and get this Queen steady. Targets down a couple more drones. You get 5 over here. He had to shade away, or he just got cleaned up. Looks like he just got cleaned up. Not the best Adepts, then. Only 5 workers killed is not too many. Ah, he actually lifted up the Warp Prisms here, of course. Okay, then 5 Adepts isn't... 5 workers killed isn't that bad for just losing 3 Adepts or so. That's pretty reasonable. And it's just going to see those Lingers coming over to the right-hand side. So Link's coming over to the right. We're going to see what's going to be going on next. Somehow just pushing forwards too, and just looking to see what's going to be coming on up. Extra gateways. I mean, looks as though Probe might just go full on aggression, you know, like push across the map. There's a couple of mortals, all these sentries. Obviously a lot of gates to warp in Adepts with. Might just go for the kind of I'm going to kill you in the next few seconds sort of strategic approach to this game too now. He's going to be seeing the army of TLO again pushed back by that overcharge. Probe. Well, does he go across the map? He's still making workers. It's actually TLO. He's only at 51 workers and starting to push through these rocks. With a lot of Ling Hydra, no Baneling Nest involved. It's going to be a Lurker affair. That Lurker den coming on down already. Very aggressive in general though from TLO to cut at 51 workers just below the free base saturation point. And to instead start investing into units much earlier. And see if it catches Probe off guard as Ling's. Ooh, gonna run by into the main and an Immortal contaminated. That's gonna delay that for a while. It was contaminated last second too. Right now, Probe is really struggling to deal with all of these Zerglings in the main base. However, 15 workers down already. Trying to drop overcharges, etc. And that is that's a little bit of a messy cleanup basically here for our Protoss player. He's still got Lings in the main, and he will eventually clean up. But again, not looking too great. Just to quickly bring you into that TVT, Kalazur's just pushing forwards, and it looks as though he is about to take down Kaz in game 2, and that is Kalazur tying that up. One apiece there in that series. Got ahead early as we saw. That's not the button I wanted to press. Got ahead early as we saw, sorry. Got ahead early as we saw, and obviously as he got ahead, he pushed himself into that sort of position, which was, you know, he just won from that position, you know, so... able to win from there, just pushing forwards, had too much. Kalazur ties up. So again, Probe losing a lot just then. It's a nice move by TLO to kind of slow him down. He's droned up a little bit since then, up to 58 workers. Just as we have a few moments of kind of just downtime, sort of slowness. Danksy, or Dansky, or Dansky, 99. Maybe Dansky, must be the more obvious way to say it. Coming in for the Twitch Prime sub. Thank you very much, Dansky. How you doing? Let's see some Wardy hearts in the chat for another brand new subscriber. Thank you so much for subscribing. With your Twitch Prime as well, you only get one of those a month. We appreciate using it over here. As we're going to see, Probe is not taking a good fight right now. Doesn't look like a good fight, at least. Maybe if he can pull back away from the lurker fire. The problem is these lurkers are doing so much. Does he have detection at the moment, Probe? He does not, and so you just didn't see these lurkers coming. Obviously, without detection, you cannot actually push down here and fight this, even if there is a lack of other units to protect these lurkers. And we've seen the units just pushing up the ramp in towards the natural expansion. And we've seen the devs continue to try and trade here. Observer on the way out. So we're going to be seeing the fires continue to get picked up. Apparently he had an observer, but TLO sniped it, the chat is telling me, so... Well, there you go. I mean, that's one of the dangers of playing the Observer as your detection, right? It is very snipeable versus an Oracle, which you generally are able to just throw down a very... What's going to happen as we start to the upper left-hand side of the map, Ascension Tire. Our Blue Zerg player from Team Liquid, it is TLO, tying this series up 1 apiece. Bottom right-hand side, our Red Protoss player from Legacy Esports. Give it up for Probe. What is up, everybody? Thank you for all the love today. First day back already, a bunch of subs, a huge donation, some bits coming in. You guys are awesome, and there's some more bits. Hashtag road to 10k. You don't need 10k Primal Lab, you need 1k for your next bit batch. It's not as far as you thought, is it? Hashtag road to 1k. Or maybe you want to go for 10k. I don't actually think you get a different badge for 10k, do you? You go from purple to the light blue one. I think the next one's the weirder blue one. Thank you so much for the tier 30 though, and everyone else as well for all that love. You guys are awesome. Again, if you're enjoying the stream, you guys know how you can support it. Just go a long way. We're 23 subs away from 300. Wow, how crazy is that? 300 subscribers. It's crazy. Like last month, I was pushing to try and get 200, and now we're just so comfortable in the 200 zone. It's really quite crazy. Like I can't really say that enough, you know. Pretty incredible, guys. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Stargate on the way up here, as we just see Probe changing up his build every game. I like it, going into a different build order each time. And so this one going to be the Oracle-based play. Oracle coming up here in the early stages. Still so much more action coming your way over the next few days, guys. And especially, you know, today included. It was worth mentioning that we do have already right now 4 groups taking place at the same time. Later today, it's going to be Group D and F as well. So lots of great plays going on. You can check the bracket to see who exactly is playing in which group, and to keep an eye on which group you might want to try and keep on up with. This weekend, just built full of StarCraft as well. Obviously, tomorrow there's going to be GSL Super Tournament, followed by Shoutcraft Kings. And this, which is going to be kind of a crazy day. Not going to be a great day for me tomorrow, but a great day for StarCraft fans in general. The day after, GSL Super Tournament, and obviously the playoffs here takes Penthouse Party number 3. We're going to be seeing some things going down. 4 drones killed off here so far. And again, just going to see this Oracle probe coming over to the right-hand side to see what he might be able to get up to next. Little bits and pieces on either side then. Just going to find another couple of lings here, which are very easily cleaned up. There's some adepts nearby anyways. TLO sees that and so pulls his lings back a little bit. And now Twilight Council and Forge as a follow-up. Not going to see that second Stargate here from Probe and a mass Oracle playstyle. Instead, just going to play into a fairly standard composition of Twilight Council, Forge, and Robo at this stage of the game. Is generally just going to be that typical charge +1 and probably a Prism into Immortals. Bayonet on the way up in the lair, about halfway done as well. Some extra Zerglings on the way out. Let's just set into all of this. Extractor finishing up on the natural here, and I'm just going to be seeing the 2 Oracles moving in towards the main base. A Revelation thrown down. 2 Queens and this Evolution Chamber spotted. Still some Lings on the left-hand side watchtower. +1 melee is about to finish from TLO. 14 more Zerglings on the way. The lair. Again, finishing in the next few moments now is going to see a whole bunch of Banelings. 4, 6, 8, 10. I could have just looked at the production tab, but that wouldn't have been fun, would it? Wouldn't have gone for our 2 times table. Yeah, 10 Banes on the way in, so TLO going to go for a little bit of aggression here, kind of pre-Hydras, etc. The Oracle's on the other side of the map, and well, obviously there's an overcharge, etc. But which pylons do you overcharge when these Banes are going to look to come crashing on in? Probe's already going to be in trouble. He pulls away towards the natural where there is just more Banelings. Only 4 probes somehow going down throughout this so far. More probes actually still have to try and run away though. 7 workers killed. Oracle's on the way back over. Probe just doesn't have an answer to this at the moment. And the third Nexus is starting to go down. So we're going to be seeing these couple of Oracles going to be looking to try and do a little bit more. We'll get 1 or 2 Banelings there right away. And we'll continue to push his way through a few more of those Zerglings. Some more Lings going down. Very well done. And again, just going to be seeing the Lings filling back over to the left-hand side. Slings back over to the left-hand side, and just in general, going to be seeing a whole bunch of units around the map right now. Excuse me. There's these couple of Oracles from Probe. Just hunting down another Zergling or 2. This is good for TLO, obviously. Getting rid of the third base, he can drone behind this and make up for the workers he committed into units instead. I'm just going to be seeing these Zerglings coming on in. Looking for another denial on the Nexus. I mean, if you get another cancel, slow down the third base even further. It's very painful for the Protoss player. He obviously is already so far behind where he wants to be. Now pylons are dropping too. Zeldin Archon's going to push the 4th base, and that might be a kill. He can't push into the 3rd though. Look at this. TLO has triple Spine Crawler set up. Triple Spine Crawler set up. I mean, there's no way you're pushing into that. So instead he has to focus on the 4th, but you will get a kill on. Which is nice, but he still needs something more. Is he still looking to break through this position? I'd be so surprised, but maybe he does. Going down this ramp here. Maybe Probe bypasses that position and goes up this ramp? I don't know. Like, I'm just trying to think, how does he try and stay in this game? Well, I mean, the problem is his 3rd base isn't going to get back up anytime soon. If these Lings are still on the map, they're going to come down and find it to the south side now as well. And so the Ling is going to get that cancel once again. The pylon's not cancelled here, so that is some money that Probe has just straight up lost. Nice defense on the natural, but 2 Adepts and 2 Sentries is a lot to commit into just one single position. Obviously it's working out, but maybe it's hurting him as well, more so than we can see. Stasis Ward comes off, actually traps a lot of that Zerg army just at the final moment or 2 where he really needed something to be stopped, because otherwise he's going to be in trouble. Problem is now the Prism trying to warp in is in range of the Queens, and being in range of the Queens is problematic, and as everything goes down, the stasis units didn't even matter. TLO just has too much of a lockdown on this game, and now he's going to go for the counter. Now he's very much looking as though this game and series is going to go in his favor 2-1. And he's going to move through to the winner's match here, where he'll play against... who's in this group of TLO and Probe? This is the Daishi Hurricane group, right? So we play against Daishi in the next round. In the winner's match to see who moves into round of 16. Probe would play Hurricane. I'm trying to think who else is in the other groups. Whatever. We'll just take it as it comes. I'm getting too confused trying to remember like 8 different groups of players right now. As you see Lingbane Hydra setting up to the right side, and well, already some Bane's going to move forwards. And you see them crashing on in towards some Archons in the front. Stasis Ward does help the defense of Probe initially, but there's those Zealots being connected into by Banelings, and that softens them up enough potentially to then come on in and continue the fight. But actually TLO is dropping an army supply, and Probe is actually going to be able to defend this, it seems. Zealots will get charged once again. He's not going to get that final Hydra. He's actually going to send 2 Zealots after it, just in hopes that maybe he can do something, but they do just go down. Army supply is right back up there for Probe, who with the 3rd base now set up, can saturate that properly for once. And still TLO only on 3 bases of his own. You know, his 4th base was taken down previous to 2. We didn't really kind of mention that again since it happened, because it sort of felt like TLO just had this in the bag anyways, but worth keeping in mind that without a, without a 4th base, he will run out of kind of minerals to mine from himself sort of soon. In fact, if you look at the income, TLO is obviously ahead, but it's still on a dip. Obviously, most of these trying to transfer workers towards that 4th base already. But, yeah, it's worth keeping in mind, because the main base is not going to last too much longer in this game. 10 minutes in, it's on its way out. Is Probe going to get aggressive again? He's got +1 attack against +2 melee, +1 higher missile attack is about to help out for the Hydras here. And the Zealots already using a lot of their charges on the initial spine, but then being pulled backwards. Lurkers on the way up. May just be the defensive unit TLO needs to stay alive here in this game, number 2. Well, Hydra's down to the south side towards the 3rd base, 4th base. And they're set up with a bunch of drones, but not too many. There's the Oracle for the Revelation if he knows where the Lurkers are. Well, he finds one of them. That one gets pulled way, way, way back. Probe's just going to loop all the way through the south side. He's got a 4th base coming up back at home as well, but he really is just focusing on unit-based production. He does have an Observer here, the Overseer coming in, and that means that now he doesn't have the detection he needs against those Lurkers. It's the second time we've seen Probe just being a little bit too sloppy with his Observer, and it actually cost him a little bit more than you might initially expect. Salah's still trying to fight some Lurkers, going to try and get the flank in to stop these units from coming back down the ramp. It is going to be working out quite nicely here from TLO. It seems the Archon's going to be under fire again now in a moment. The Hydra's are just doing such a great job of continuously pushing out damage. And this entire army is going to keep on trying to pull away down through towards the lower right-hand side of the map. Zealots here for Probe, not too sure what they're going to try and do. So many Banes morphing in aggressively once more. TLO come into Probe to try and put an end to this game, number 3. Zealots will try and charge on forwards, but those Banes are about to finish. And that's going to be messy. Those Zealots going down, that's not what you want. Problem is, he had no real choice. He had to try something, he had to take a risk. Unfortunately, the risk did not pay off for him. It looks as though this is going to probably be game, because right now TLO is just got a little bit too much. The Archon count is starting to deteriorate. The Lurker count is obviously looking very good. I'm just going to continue to see. Well, actually, Hydra's push back here. And those Lurkers, though, absolutely destroying anything in their sights. Zealots, Immortals especially. And a few Zealots just absolutely melting. And similar story right now as he fights on into it. Probe realizing he has to just try. Problem is, even just trying is not going to cut it. GG well played as Probe. And the 1-0 lead slips away to a victory for TLO.